Have you ever dreamed of running your own multi-camera live stream? You know, the cool-looking ones. But then you see all the cables and the gear and just get totally overwhelmed? Well, today we are going to build a powerful portable TV studio from the ground up. And I promise you, it's way easier than you think. Let's dive in.
Okay, I know exactly what you're thinking when you look at this. Whoa, that is a lot of stuff. It looks like mission control at NASA, right? But stick with me here, because I promise by the end of this, you're going to see that it's not just manageable, it's actually kind of simple. There's a secret logic to all this madness that makes it all just click. And here it is. This is the secret. It all boils down to a super simple 3-layer system. Seriously, once you get these 3 layers in your head, all that chaos just melts away. See, this isn't about randomly plugging in cables. It's about building a system and understanding that, well, that changes everything. So what are these magical layers? Well, first up, you've got the capture layer. Pretty straightforward. This is your eyes and ears, your cameras, your microphones. Then you have the transport layer. This is how you get all those video signals from your cameras over to your desk without tripping over a million wires. And finally, layer 3, the control layer. This is your command center, your home base where you switch between cameras and actually run the show. Capture, transport, control. See? Simple. All right, that's enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and actually build this thing. We're going to assemble your command center piece by piece, starting with the cameras themselves. So we've got 3 identical camera stations, which means you just do this same easy process 3 times. First, get that camera mounted on its tripod. Next, and this is a huge pro move, pop in a dummy battery. This lets you connect to a big external power bank, which means your camera is never going to die halfway through a show. Finally, plug the camera's HDMI output into your little wireless video transmitter. And that's it, 1 station down. And now you can see exactly how those pieces fit together right here on the diagram. You've got the camera, which is connected to that power bank for basically endless juice, and it's hooked up to this small wireless transmitter right here. Each of your 3 stations is going to look just like this little self-contained unit. And here is a pro tip that I absolutely love, and you should too. Tape your cables to the tripod legs. Seriously, do it. It stops them from dangling all over the place like a mess of spaghetti, which not only looks 100 times more professional, but it also stops someone, maybe even you, from accidentally snagging a cable and bringing your whole shot crashing down. Okay, so where do we actually put these cameras? This right here, this setup is what instantly takes your production from a boring little webcam call to a pro-looking show. Camera 1 is your wide shot, your master shot. It gets both you and your guest in the frame. Then camera 2 is a nice, tight close-up on your guest. And camera 3 is a matching close-up just for you, the host. This setup gives you that dynamic, TV-style feel. All right, time to move over to the control desk. You're going to take the 3 wireless receivers, the buddies to your camera transmitters, and plug each one into an input on your video switcher. Then you just connect the switcher's main output to your monitor, power the whole thing up, and boom! Just like that, all 3 of your camera feeds are right there waiting at your fingertips. So we've built the rig. You're officially a technician. But now comes the really fun part. We're going to learn how to actually use it. This section is your playbook for going from a button pusher to a live show director. This is where the magic happens. But before you direct anything, we have to talk about the single most important technical rule. I'm not kidding. If you get this wrong, your switcher will throw a fit and you're going to get flickering video or just a black screen. It's simple. All 3 of your cameras must have the exact same settings. We're talking 1080p resolution, 30 frames per second, and make sure clean HDMI is turned on. They have to be clones of each other, non-negotiable. So how do you know which button to press and when? It's way easier than you think. You just follow the conversation. If you, the host, are talking, you switch to your close-up on camera 3. When the guest starts to reply, you cut over to their close-up on camera 2. And what about when you're both laughing or reacting to something? That's what your wide safety shot on camera 1 is for. It's that simple.
And this right here is the real aha moment. This is the difference between just pushing buttons and actually directing. An amateur gets nervous and just starts switching like crazy, way too fast, totally random. But a pro makes motivated cuts. Every single switch has a reason. It helps tell the story of the conversation. And they hold each shot for at least 5 to 15 seconds. You gotta let the moment breathe. It's all about rhythm and telling a story.
Okay, so you know how to switch like a pro. But how do you run a smooth, error-free show every single time? Well, it all comes down to professional habits. So let's get into the routines that will guarantee you get reliable results and help you dodge those show-stopping mistakes before they even have a chance to happen.
And the absolute key to a flawless show is this pre-show checklist. Look, this isn't a suggestion. This is a non-negotiable professional habit. Check your power. Make sure your batteries are charged. Confirm you can see all 3 video feeds. Test your audio levels. Connect to your streaming software. And always, always run a quick private test stream. Skipping this checklist is just asking for a disaster. Let's talk about the biggest pitfalls. The number 1 mistake is mixed camera settings. You'll know it's happening because you'll see a black screen or a flickering image, and your show is basically dead in the water. The fix? It's simple. You make it a habit to meticulously confirm that every single camera is set to the identical resolution and frame rate before you do anything else.
Next up, the dreaded echo from hell. You know the one. This happens when you have audio coming in from more than one source at the same time. The pro habit here is to be an audio hawk. Before you even think about going live, you dive into your switcher's audio settings and make sure one and only one main audio source is active. Mute everything else, no exceptions.
And finally, we have the stuttering, glitching, dropping video feed. This is almost always a weak wireless signal. So the pro habit you need to build is to think about line of sight when you're setting up. Make sure your receivers at your control desk have a clear, unobstructed path to the transmitters on your cameras. Don't let a person, a wall, or a big pile of gear ruin your perfect shot.
So let's just take a step back for a second and really appreciate what you've built here. This isn't just a pile of gear you bought online. It's a complete, professional, and totally portable broadcast system.
The transformation is actually pretty profound when you think about it. You started out with the idea of just having a few cameras. But by following this system, you've unlocked the ability to actually produce and direct a high-quality live show from pretty much anywhere.
And really, that's the bottom line. Most people with this kind of gear, they just point one camera at something and press record. But not you. You understand the system. You have the director's playbook. You aren't just streaming anymore. You're running a mini TV control room. So what show are you going to create first?